The first Incredibles might be my favorite Pixar movie. Maybe it's a superhero thing, but maybe it isn't the superhero thing, you know? I love the family dynamic, the action set pieces. I love how there's more creative use of powers than we've seen yet in any Fantastic Four film. And it's dark. It's a dark film, man. There's the attempted killing of kids. Mr. Incredible thinking that his whole family's been murdered, working in an office. These are all things that chill me to my core. So yeah, it's probably my favorite, but bear in mind, I haven't seen Cars 2, Brave, 90% of the Good Dinosaur, Cars 3, and Coco. And look, if it's not my favorite, it's definitely on par with the Toy Story films, Ratatouille, and the first 10 minutes of Up. The reason though I say all of this is because I want to put some context here when I state I really enjoyed Incredibles 2. Though for me it doesn't surpass the first film, but it's still a fantastic follow-up, but there's still those couple of factors that means it just falls that little bit short. The story picks up directly after the events of the first film, despite this movie coming 14 years later. Man, 14 years, that was a long while ago. Turns out that time makes fools of us all. Not that it matters though, I'm gonna live forever! I mean, in YouTube videos. These will be here long after I'm dead, which means I should probably put more effort into these, I suppose. Anyways, this time around, instead of a major story focus being that the heyday of superheroes is over and that they're in hiding, this time around it's about superheroes stepping back into the spotlight. And the idea is that this new superhero movement needs a positive public face. So Elastigirl is chosen, seeing as statistically she's caused less destruction than most of the other supers. And this is where what I think I liked most about this movie really kicks off. Mr. Incredible, dealing with being a stay-at-home dad when he clearly thinks he's more suited to being out there on the streets, punching runaway trains, whilst at the same time, Elastigirl is getting a lot of the best action set pieces. And again, like the first one, there's really creative use of powers, particularly with her. We see stuff in this film that probably hasn't even been considered in the Fantastic Four movies and make the action in, say, oh, I don't know, a very bad Fantastic Four film looks somehow even worse. On the topic of action though, the majority of the big moments for some reason seem to consist of stopping a really big thing, which I guess could be considered a downside. That being said, these moments differentiate themselves with the introduction of new characters and powers, different stakes, and of course different solutions. And since we're here talking about things that maybe aren't so good, I don't think the new villain is a patch on Syndrome. Setting aside that the twist relating to that character is blindingly obvious, I think the motivation and the person themselves just aren't as compelling as before. Not a terrible villain by any stretch, it sets up some pretty cool fight sequences, but I think if the movie had have nailed this particular aspect, then this whole thing could have been on par with the first. That being said, The Incredibles 2 is a real blast, with some really humorous moments, an encounter with a raccoon being a definite highlight, plus every member of the family gets a moment to shine, whether it be through demonstrating their abilities or something that they're going through in their personal life. It's also nice to see Frozone and Edna get some more play this time around, and it's also fun checking out all the powers of the new heroes. Hopefully Incredibles 3, which by the way this movie does not go out of its way to set up, isn't another 14 years away, because frankly, even though I'm gonna live forever on YouTube, there's a very good chance that I will be dead by then. And if I have been murdered, it was Nick Mason. Also, I just want to say, I think it's been a little bit forgotten how great a director Brad Bird is off the back of his last film, Tomorrowland, which I think is far from a terrible movie. I'm also really interested to see what he does next, whether it be something in animation, maybe a Star Wars, because he did turn down The Force Awakens, maybe a Fantastic Four, if that ends up happening again, or maybe just whatever he feels like doing. But what did you think of Incredibles 2? And what would you consider to be, yeah, I don't know, your top 7.5 Pixar films? Also, if you feel like it, you can subscribe and bell icon to get videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. That includes an upcoming episode of Caravan of Garbage that's already on patreon.com/MrSundayMovies that looks at the Incredibles 2 video game from 2005 that initially acted as the first film's sequel. It's like a parallel universe. Plus, I also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. This Monday, we're going right into Incredibles 2, so swing on by if you want to check any of that out. But thanks for watching this. I appreciate it. Take care.